here today to talk to you about failure. Failure is not a dirty word. Failure is an essential part of our success, actually. And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Simone Lawrence, and I'm an executive coach. So I'm working a lot with people in the workplace and working with their potential. And in my own personal experience, I find that failure or fear of failure is probably the biggest thing that holds people back from moving forward. They're scared. They're really intimidated by perhaps what other people will think if they don't succeed. They're intimidated by what they'll think about themselves if they don't succeed. And they really feel stuck sometimes. And I believe it's this fear of failure that is one of those things that we need to really work through. I can think of many, many examples of successful people, really successful people, that have failed many, many times before they've been successful. Can anybody here think of an example?
The Alibaba guy.
Alibaba, yes. What
I always repeat this story about applying for KFC and then, I don't know.
KFC is a good example, yeah.
Yeah, failing lots of times, and then he opens his own thing and becomes one of the best in the world.
Exactly. And KFC, what is it about KFC?
The founder of KFC, I forgot his name.
Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, but he has a real name.
Well, he's not.
Anyway, Colonel Sanders, it was in the 50s, for those of you who don't know the story, he had this concept of fried chicken, even though McDonald's was already established and up and running and expanding. So the idea was probably not necessarily the newest, most innovative one, but he proposed this idea to several investors in all over the US, and he slept in his car because he saved money on gas and on hotels and everything. And he has been rejected, I think, over 70 times. And then in Kentucky, obviously, he has found someone who believed in that idea after being rejected over 70 times in a span of 2 years.
Absolutely. And he was quite old when he went through this process. So, it's never too late as well to face up to your fear of failure. Some other examples are J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. She got rejected 12 times with her first manuscript. I mean, imagine writing Harry Potter. It's now like the biggest worldwide selling success. And 12 times she was told it's not good enough. Bill Gates is another example. He dropped out of Harvard Business School. He totally failed in his first business, and he ended up being such a successful businessman.
Richard Branson.
Richard Branson, tell us about him.
High school dropout.
A high school dropout that went on to be one of the most successful entrepreneurs. Walt Disney.
Elon Musk.
Walt Disney was told, you are not creative enough and you don't have good enough ideas. Imagine. So imagine if they had accepted that as their failure and they had stopped there. We would not be privy to these wonderful, wonderful things. Exactly. So what does it bring us when we fail? What's the impact on us? There's 4 things really. 1, you gain experience. So you have that experience and as well that knowledge to add to your repertoire. So you're building sort of a suitcase that you can carry along with you in your journey of life. Knowledge, experience, resilience. You're building the perseverance and the resilience to get back up again. Some grit, some determination, some ability to not let the bad things knock you down. And finally, you're gaining growth. You're gaining an opportunity to move forward and to really take all of this knowledge and this experience and your resilience and grow from that. So if we don't have failure, perhaps it's not possible to have growth. What do you think?
Yeah, of course.
What's a good ratio between failures and success?
Well, judging from Colonel Sanders and J.K. Rowling, what would you say?
70 against 1, and that's pretty harsh.
I think it is not the questions of ratio, it is the perseverance and the resilience. Because I believe that if you fail at one point and you allow this to knock you down and you stay down and you don't get up, then you can consider yourself as a failure. But if you're getting up constantly, every time you've been knocked down, even if it takes, like, you're in your 70s, then you cannot be considered a failure. You die trying.
And you realize what is that when you find it actually, without an option to get it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's coming from the belief that we have all the resources that we need, and it's just a matter of tapping into them in potentially a different way. So if you think of a child that's learning how to walk, you know, they get up, they stumble, they try again. They get up and stumble and they try again.
Yeah.
It's because they have already all of those resources within them to move forward again. But as we have a lot of experience in our life and we have a few failures, we can learn two different things. We can learn to accept that failure and let it get us down, or we can learn to accept that failure, take the learning from it, and reinvent ourselves, really. So reflect what went wrong, revisit what would I do differently, and go again. Reinvent yourself. Yeah.
Cool.
Great.
So the important message is to have self-compassion for yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. You know, there might be 99 things that went right and one thing that went wrong, and it's human nature to focus on the one thing that went wrong, actually. Focus on the 99 things that went right. Reflect on what you can do differently, reinvent, and go again. Yeah?
Very great reminder.
Failure is one of life's greatest teachers. Thank you.
Thank you.